Let's continue our deep dive into the subject of ethics in photojournalism. Mr. S.R. Raghunathan, Chief Photographer and Deputy Photo Editor with The Hindu, will talk to us about image processing versus image manipulation. How far is it acceptable in news photography? Let's go over to Mr. Raghunathan as he tells us how seriously photo manipulation can impact and affect your career as a professional news photographer.
Image processing, image manipulation, two different things. Image processing, as far as image processing is concerned, every camera has its own merits and demerits. When you take a picture, sometimes the white balance will be on the higher side, the white balance will be on the lower side, the color correction will be on +1, the contrast will be on the -1, the brightness will be on 0, and there's a lot of permutation combination which you have to look into it. Image processing is permissible, is strictly permitted for any photographers who are working in any newspaper. It is, you're not doing anything extra. You are brightening the picture, you are putting down the colors, you are trying to show the original color, you are trying to give the feed to the picture to get into the newspaper, because the newspaper color is not white, it is half white. There's a lot of things which you have to learn and practice it by applying it to the picture. This is one part, but you have to process a picture. Without processing a picture, you cannot publish it. For example, if I take a picture in RAW, that is RAW images has a bigger format. It's a bigger format and which has all the details in it. So you will step down the RAW images to a JPEG format, which means the picture will have only the details which you need to know. That's all. No hidden information is given, no extra color, no the details in the dark, the details in the light area, nothing. It gives you a picture as it is, unlike a raw picture. So you step down a raw picture into a JPEG image and type the caption and give it. But whereas the manipulation of the image is highly it's a sin. It's a sin. When you follow photography religiously, manipulating a picture is a sin. And most importantly, the newspaper will never ever permit any news photographer to manipulate image. But it has happened in a national daily. This is again a cricket. The ball was not in the air, but there was a catch which was caught, and the player in the first slip, he threw the ball and it was not in the frame, and his both hands are like this as if he's going to catch, but this happened after the catch. But the photographer who took the picture, the digital era was just begun. He brought the ball inside the frame, added an image of a ball inside the frame as if the player is going to catch the ball. And this manipulation was found by the editor of the newspaper, and he was sent out. Summarily dismissed. So manipulation, and I can also tell you one more thing. This National Geography is the Bible for all the photographers. There was this photographer, I forgot the name of the photographer, I can probably Google it and let you know. He had manipulated the Egyptian Sphinx in such a way that it correlates with the pyramid. The person who's been buying National Geography in Australia for over a period of time, 25, 30 years, because he follow National Geography strictly and go to places where they have published stories and really enjoyed the way they have taken the pictures. And he used to have a photo library of his own, and he follows National Geography strictly. And once he found out that the Egyptian Sphinx was moved digitally, he filed a case against the National Geography saying that I believed in you, that you have done this. And finally he filed a case for $1 million, and he got some $50,000 or whatever. So he won the case against National Geography. Then National Geography made it a very strict view as far as the pictures are concerned. They don't manipulate digitally. They don't manipulate in the digital library or the digitally used softwares used to manipulate pictures. They don't do that. So ever since, National Geography has been very, very careful in handling a picture. Similarly, agencies like AFP, AP, Reuters, Bloomberg, they don't manipulate any news pictures. Manipulation of news pictures will lead to cancellation of their license because pictures brings the truth to your living room, and people really believe in the Hindu or the Indian Express or the Times of India or the agencies, whoever it is providing the news and the pictures. So they believe that this really happened. And what if you publish something which really did not happen? People still believe that. It's a false propaganda. It's like a Goebbels, this thing, like a lie repeated 1,000 times and become a truth. But photographers don't make all these lies true. So we always tell the truth, only truth, nothing but the truth.
Now, let us continue and hear from Mr. Raghunathan about the other ethical practices one must follow as a photojournalist. We need to be aware about the invasion of privacy, and we also need to know how to act in sensitive and volatile situations.
I'll give you two examples. The slum, because it's the most difficult place to take pictures. When the government has a policy to clear the slums and give them a home somewhere, the outskirts of the Chennai, you go and take pictures, they will be very angry with you because you are shooting which they don't like. They don't want to go away from the place. And this had happened several times. When you go and take pictures, you have to be with them, tell them that we are trying to help you, we are trying to show your struggle to the people, we are bringing it to the light. If you're going to fight against the government here, nobody is going to bother except for the news channels and the photographers like us. We go and stand with them. Somehow, by hook up, you get the news, you get that one picture. Similarly, when you go to any of the slums which is under fire, this had happened several times, and I got caught amidst a huge mob, and I was really scared to see such. But it's because of your good PR, you come out of that and make them very friendly with you and get that one picture. Now, many years ago, I went for this huge slum in the North Madras. It's a huge slum, say about some 2,000 huts. It got gutted. I mean, there's no casualties, but then these people lost everything they had there. When I went there, they were so angry, not just me, but many other news photographers and quite a few channels. We all went there to take the picture of the slum under fire. And the huge mob trying to snatch our camera, and a couple of photographers got beaten. And we pacified them. We got to tell them that only when we take the picture, show it to the public through our newspaper, you will have their sympathy, and then you get what you want from the government. So you have to make good use of the opportunity. You should be a good peer more than a photographer. A photographer, if you need to get that one picture, even in a restricted area for that matter, so you have to have that brain to tackle the situation. You should be a good PR. Of course, you have to be a good photographer to get that one picture. You may take 100 pictures, 200 pictures, but that one picture. So you have to pacify the crowd. But quite a lot of things, you have to use your brain to, tackle the situation and get that one picture. Yeah.
Can you talk about the ethics? What are the kind of ethics or professionalism or professional standards, also including invasion of privacy and whatever else in your practice, is important?
Right. The invasion of privacy is much talked about these years. In fact, the Supreme Court has clearly made a statement. I would suggest that anybody who's coming to the journalism, to the photojournalism, they should always have to have that kind of what do you call I would say that more than a photographer for the newspaper, you should be a human first. In fact, several years ago, we have this the epicenter of the earthquake in Bhuj. So we all went there. So when we went there, people lost their houses. They have nothing. Everything is, turned into rubble. They are literally waiting for the government agencies to come and give them food, water, clothing, shelter, everything. One of my cousin was also there. He lost everything, and of course he had his family here. He was not married then. His father was here, and he shifted here. But then, to our shock and surprise, when we went there, people shared their food and water with whatever little they have with us. Because even for us, if we have to have some food or water, we have to go for a very long way. So that kind of thing, when you have that kind of thing, it touches your heart. Similarly, when you go and take some picture, you should always keep in mind the privacy of the people involving in that frame. Speak to them. Ask them whether they can be featured. Some people may say okay. Some people, they don't care. But some people may really be hesitant to tell you that please don't. You have to respect that word. So it's a kind of a give and take thing between the subject and the photographer, because any picture which has to be seen by millions of readers has to pass through you first, through your heart. Don't take pictures with your camera. I mean, in such events, take picture with your heart. Ask yourself whether this picture can go. If this picture, that one picture is going to make a lot of difference for that family and the entire community, fine, then you don't need to ask anyone. But if it's going to demoralize them, degrade them, then a professional photographer will not do that. That's my point of view. Ethical values, as far as ethical values are concerned, any photographer will always first they think of the newspaper. But like I said, there are some ethics, like invasion of privacy is one among them that we have seen. And there are quite a lot of things, even in sports for that matter. The run out. I still remember there used to be a photographer called Naran. He's no more. He was 60 when I started my career. He was 60 when I started my career. That was when I was 21. Okay, so it should be 30 years ago. He, as far as ethics is concerned, let me tell you this. Those days there was no third umpire law. So when he took the picture of this Mohinder Amarnath, I think here in, this is the match against Australia. There's a run out. That run out, when he took it from the gallery, the batsman has reached on the crease, and after that there's a series of pictures. In the motor drive, he has taken in film camera, not digital. Mind you, digital has not come then. He said, he retired and he was working for a small time newspaper then. So there was a series of pictures. The batsman entered the crease, then the ball hit the stump, the umpire gave him out. The match was lost. But had it been the other way out, the third umpire was there then, the match would have been a different way. So the ethics, the very next day, he published the series of picture of the batsman, ball by ball, first the frame by frame. The first frame, the batsman was just before the crease, the ball was still in the air. The second frame was inside the crease, the ball was still in the air. Third frame, he was halfway through the crease and it was inside, the ball hit the stumps. And the fourth frame, the umpire is saying it's out. So that was a big controversy. It's ethics that when we know the truth, give it to the people, let them decide whether it is good or bad, true or false. So that's how it used to be. And we have come across several such things then. So similarly, I have taken, 2 years ago, I have taken one horse race here in Guindy. There was two horses neck to neck. And but luckily, since we have come to digital age, so the steward is the one who used to announce who has won the race. So he wanted to, because I was on the finishing line, so he wanted to see the picture, what I have taken, and he has seen the picture. And then he decided the thing. So that's how it is.
The various ethical practices that you are being introduced to in these lessons on ethics in photojournalism are indeed very important to reflect upon and finally to integrate into your own practice as a photojournalist. We're going to learn some more in the next video.